I saw this video from Will Neff where he said he drafted the best Mario NFL team. And he goes through, he says he found this one on Twitter. He said he thought this one sucked, so he drafted his own NFL team. And I'll give credit where credit is due. Will Neff's NFL team was decent. It was decent. You know, he had some good picks. But even me, not knowing anything about football really, looking at Will Neff's team, dude, it sucked. It was bad. He drafted a bad Mario NFL team. So I figured the only logical thing to do, because Will Neff saw somebody draft an NFL Mario team, he thought that their picks were bad, so he made his own. If I think Will Neff's Mario NFL team is bad, well then add another layer of obscurity to it, and I'll just draft my own. I feel like that makes sense, right? I feel like that's a logical thing to do. So last night, instead of doing anything productive, I did this. I spent hours making an offense, a defense, and a special teams. So and here's the thing. Here's the other thing. Before last night, I knew probably this much about what the positions do. Like, I could tell you what a quarterback, a wide receiver, a running back, and a tight end were supposed to do. And then obviously, like, the kicker and the punter is pretty self-explanatory. There's so much more. There's so much more to football. So I had to figure out what literally every single every single football position is supposed to do, what their goal is, just to do this. And then I had to comb through the list of every single Mario character to draft my team based on how the position is supposed to play. And let me just say up front, I think I have the best team so far. So this is how this is formatted. The left side to my left is the original. Ryan Plummer on Twitter drafted the original Mario team. On my right is Will Neff's team. On the top is my team. And yes, before you ask, my format is completely one-to-one ripped off of what Will Neff did. That's because it looks nice, okay? Starting with the offense, I don't think it makes sense to start with literally any position other than the quarterback, right? The quarterback is your beating heart, the blood, the soul of your offensive team. The quarterback needs to be aware of what's going on, needs to be able to control the field, make good calls, needs to have a fucking arm, and needs to be able to run. Ryan Plummer chose Mario, which is a bad pick. Because Mario's just a guy, right? Like, at the end of the day, base Mario is just a guy. What's he gonna do against the fucking Bullet Bill on the other side, right? So that's why for my quarterback pick, I agreed with Will Neff. I went DK. I scrubbed literally the whole of Mario. I think DK is the only viable pick. I think DK has an arm. He can run. He seems very aware of things around him. This is the pick. DK is the only pick here. Everyone has different views on what the running back should do, right? But at the end of the day, the running back, you need him to be quick. You need him to be agile, evasive, and they need to be able to catch a ball if necessary. For context, this one choice from Will Neff alone is the sole reason I made this list. Because Will Neff chose Metal Mario for the running back. That's so dumb. Why Metal Mario, who is canonically the slowest Mario? Why would you want them on the running back when there is a much clear, better Mario variant out there that I think is the best pick for running back? Fucking Cat Mario. Are you kidding me? Have you seen this guy run? Have you seen the agility of Cat Mario? It's insane. It's unparalleled from, I think, anyone else on the entire Mario roster. So that's why running back Cat Mario is my number one pick. The offensive line as a whole, moving up here to your left tackle, your left guard, your right tackle, they're a package deal, right? It doesn't matter which one of these positions you're playing, you have the same goal, which is to protect the quarterback. So the quarterback can execute his plays to perfection. That's what you're looking for in your defensive line. They got to be on the same page. They got to communicate. I want mine to communicate so well that they don't even have to communicate. I want them wearing each other's underwears, pooping each other's shits. You understand what I'm saying? Will Neff had a good start to his offensive line here, right? He started with Womp and Thwomp, but then he immediately derails it and goes with Bomb-On and King Bomb-On. So that's why for my offensive line, all right, we're looking at Womp King, Womp, Thwomp, and the Stairface Ogre. These are just 4 Womp variants, so they're always going to be on the same page. They're always going to be on the same page. They're going to know what they're doing. And then I'm sure you can see, I'm sure you can extrapolate here. The last member of the offensive line is the center. Now, at this point, there's really only one choice to fill out the offensive line full of baddies, and it's the biggest baddie of them all, Bowser. I think these 5 as an offensive line, I don't know if anyone is getting through, because Bowser is the only one on my offensive line that isn't a literal rock wall. Now, ideally, your tight end needs to be big, but also fast, because they're running the ball, they're catching the ball, and if they need to be, they also need to be able to kind of fill in on the offensive line here. So that is why my choice was Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong, I know what you're thinking. He's not that big. Right. But Diddy Kong is fast. If you give Diddy Kong the ball, I think Diddy Kong, worst comes to worst, can fill in running back. But I think you can also send him out in the field to catch a damn ball. And I think Diddy Kong just seems like he's fucking crackheaded enough to stop someone. Over here on the left, the X wide receiver. X wide receiver needs to be big, needs to be able to catch the ball over a defender. And my main question is, who's bigger, who's lankier than the main man himself? Lanky Kong. It's in his name. He's lanky. And also, I think Lanky Kong gets bonus points for fucking looking like this. Lanky Kong looks like this, dude. I think Lanky Kong, putting him out on the field, you get the added bonus of winning the mental warfare. Who's going to want to guard this guy? Who's going to be up on Lanky Kong out in the end zone, stopping him from catching a ball? Nobody. Because look at him. Look at Lanky Kong. The slot receiver, you want them to get around the field quick, right? They need to be able... Slot receiver kind of fills in roles, from what I understand. The slot receiver fills in roles where there's like a gap in the offense. That's why I went Kitty Kong. Baby, the baby of the Kong family. Because I think Kitty Kong has the perfect wild card element. I think Kitty Kong is filled with enough chaotic energy. I think there's enough chaotic energy here in Kitty Kong. No one's going to expect what he's doing next. And I think that's exactly what you need from your slot receiver. The Y receiver acts almost like another tight end, but their main goal is to get down the field as fast as possible when it's time to catch the ball. So they got to catch, they got to travel fast. That's why the obvious choice, I think Will Neff's right here, Lakitu. I think Lakitu is the right choice for your wide receiver. I think offensively, we're 16-0. But here's the thing. Offense does not win championships. Defense wins championships. Moving over to the defense, your defensive line, you want them big, all right? You want your defensive line to be big fucking boys that can get through the opposing team's offensive line, get to the quarterback, but also they're your first line of defense against the running back. So, you know, they gotta be quick about it. Now, similarly to my offensive line, I wanted my defensive line to coordinate well, right? That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Are they working together, or do you have 4 individuals doing their own thing? Personally, for my defensive line, because I want you, they got to work together. That's always the big thing. I went for 3 of the Koopalings plus Boom Boom. I think these 3 will work together better than anyone else. You got Ludwig von Koopa, you got Morton, you got Roy, and you got Boom Boom. These 4 will be able to plow through any offensive line, and they can pop in their little fucking shell and catch a running back. Now, the weak linebacker, you want him to be small and quick, right? This WLB. You want him to be small and quick. Spiny is one of those things, and he's small. But I think he's so unassuming, people won't take Spiny seriously, but if you get him in the right spot, he'll put a stop to anybody. The middle linebacker, you want him to be quick and able to control the center zone. And this is another time where I agree with Will Neff. I think Wario's just the best choice. I went through the entire Mario roster 3 separate times, and I could not think of a better choice than Wario. So I think I gotta, hand it to Will. I think Wario's the best choice here. The cornerbacks, they have to be the fastest ones on your defense here, right? They gotta be fast. They have to be able to cover anybody that's coming off the line of scrimmage, and they have to be able to stop a running back, go up for the interceptions. So I chose Yoshi and the Paratrooper. I think you could split the field straight down the middle, and Yoshi and Paratrooper will have no problem holding their own. And plus, Paratrooper can fly. That seems like easy interceptions, right? The right quarterback throws the ball down the field. Paratrooper just flies up and catches it in midair. I feel like that is unrivaled amounts of OP. And Yoshi will have no problems catching a run, stopping a run play in its tracks. Now, the nickelback, the NB here, is essentially another cornerback. So to kind of fill in, I put Fly Guy. Both Ryan and Will used Shy Guy, which makes no sense to me when Fly Guy is an option, which is just Shy Guy but can also be in the air. So that one seemed like a no-brainer. I thought about Nabbit, but that seemed like the easy pick. So yeah, I just chose Fly Guy. And then the strong safety over here on the right acts essentially as your run support, right? So everyone else fails. They're charging the ball down the fucking field. You need someone to stop the runner. You need him that can, run fast, catch him quick. That's why I went Chain Chomp. Have you seen Chain Chomp after you free him in Super Mario 64? Literally the fastest person to put on the field. The fastest. And then finally for the defense, you have your free safety. Your free safety, you stick them way back. No one else can do their job. The free safety's one job is to stop the play. So you go for King Bill. I mean, he fills in the role best as last line of defense. The king of the Bills. Like, not the Bills, like from Buffalo, but the Bills, like the Bullets. I just feel like King Bill will be able to stop anybody in their tracks. And then finally, we just got 5 roles to play. We have 5 roles to place. It's our special teams. For my coach, I put Mario in. I know it seems basic. I know it seems like a vanilla pick, okay? But sometimes I'm in the mindset, sometimes simplicity is key, right? I think everyone tries to overcomplicate things, go for some funky ass plays. I think Mario as the coach, he keeps it simple, right? He tells his boys, just go out there, play the best goddamn football of your lives. And they do that. And hey, I think it's always good to have a coach that can simplify things and say, this is the skeleton of what you're working with. Make it you. Make it work, right? And I think that's where Mario comes in. I think that's where Mario fits in best to the whole equation. I mean, for my kicker, I went Funky Kong, right? Like, look at the legs on this guy. Look at the legs on this guy. And also, I think Funky Kong seems more likely to kick the ball a crazy-ass way. And that gives the gunner a good chance to get down the field quick enough because of the way the ball's going to be moving. Now, before we talk about the gunner, let's talk about the punter. The pick for punter seems obvious. You go for the sledge bro. Because the punter, they need to be able to, kick the ball off their hand. I mean, think about the way the sledge bros work. They're throwing sledgehammers. All they're missing is a connection on the foot, and they're already punting shit. Running the ball down the field, you need a returner. That's where Captain Toad comes in. I don't know why. Like, initially, for the returner, I was thinking Bullet Bill. But there's no way that the returner's grabbing anything if it's Bullet Bill. I mean, the guy's got tiny-ass fucking hands. What is he going to do? Nothing. Like, not just Toad, but specifically Captain Toad just gives me, like, quick and evasive vibes, right? Like, you always go through some random obscure pipe in the game, and Captain Toad's already there, right? And then he's quick about shit, And I just feel like because Toad is Toad, he's just naturally evasive. And then finally, for my gunner, the gunner is the person, and I'm going to explain this because I didn't know what a gunner was. The gunner is the gunner's one job. When you kick the ball to the other team, the gunner's one job is to get down the field as fast as possible to minimize the yards gained after receiving the kick. Simple. Just keep it simple. Go Bullet Bill, right? The man is a literal rocket. Shoot down the field. And I put in my notes here, this is where Bullet Bill finds his purpose. Who knows? Bullet Bill might even get to the ball before the returner. So that's my Mario NFL team. Legitimately looking at it, I think Spiny is probably my one weak link. I couldn't think of a different weak linebacker. But other than that, I think this is legitimately a 16-0 team. I cannot think of a single combination that is better than this or that you could counterpick this team with.